Hey guys, good morning. I did get a bunch of requests on people from TikTok and my comments on YouTube to do one for Patreon, um, to do a TA on GRTS. So I don't know what this company does. I don't know what they. I'm assuming it's a biotech company, just from their name. Um, but I was asked to do just a quick TA to see where I thought that the price was going, what I think might happen and stuff, and I want to say it doesn't look that bad. I mean, I usually don't trade biotech companies. I don't really like biotech companies. I think that I think they're too weird, and they're too just like I said, I don't trade them because I don't personally understand how a biotech trades. So I stay 100% away from biotech because I think they're extremely sporadic, and they tend to do moves on a really weird, sporadic way. So they can jump to infinity in like an hour, and I have no idea why. Right? More than likely, it's probably related to volume and a lot of other things. But I don't have the time, and I don't really care too much about biotechs to do my research. Right? I don't. That's not how I trade. Um, I do gotta say though, I do think it's headed down to roughly around this area. So somewhere right here, I think it's more than likely going to be actually headed down. I think it is looking like it's going to break that support at 1065. I guess I already looked at this before since I actually didn't build out support and resistance till today. So I guess I already had my support and resistance already built out for this ticker. But I think it's going down at least short term, right? I do think that it's going to break resistance. It's going to close the what is it called? It's going to close over support, and then the weekly also the weekly is going to be closing a bear week, and on average you do have some sort of a I don't want to say significant drop, but you do have a couple pointage drops from when on every instance of closing bear weeks or whatever, right? So right here you do have a four what is it called, a $4 drop from high. So I can kind of do a similar route, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be like this. So I mean, the drop would be pretty similar. 28 days, $4. We'll do $4.08, whatever. $4.08. But I would generally say, because you're actually close to this support level at 826, more than likely it'll probably stop at that support. I don't think it'll drop fully. I think more than likely you'll hit that support at 826 and probably bounce back and forth from there. Strictly from just what happened the last time we actually dropped on the weekly after we created that cycle. So on average, it does look like it likes to drop around $4. You know, after it's already dropped, right after you already seen a massive drop like that. But the good thing is you're actually already there's actually a couple of good things, right? You actually created a low, you created a higher high, and you might actually be retesting this. So there's two things that can happen, right? Two things that can happen right now. I personally think, just from what TA shows, that you're probably gonna come down to like this area somewhere here, more than likely. So you're probably gonna go back down, maybe hit support at like 938, possibly on the 50 MA, or you're actually gonna touch all the way down in previous support, right? We'll put it down there just in case. But I do think we're actually headed for a rise up, like for another peak like this. I do think that's a very big probability right now, especially for GRTS, and dependent on the volume actually being there. But keep in mind, right now, you do have that break in weekly resistance, right? So you had your relative high back here at 1064. You could have probably actually you could have actually done the breakout strategy on this. So let me just check this out real quick. Breakout strategy. Yeah, you could have easily done the breakout strategy on this, right? It hit the 1.618 fib, and it actually went over that. So you would have probably bought your calls here, sold mostly everything around that $12, $50 mark, whatever. But that's a gameplay for a different day, right? That's a different strategy than what we're doing here. But yeah, I think ultimately I do think you're gonna see a drop down to like 860, this previous support of 826. But you are creating, you got a lower, you had your low right here, and you actually broke relative high. So now you have a higher high on this little section. So I do think it's going to close here, and then more than likely it looks like you might actually break to the upside. So I think trend is going to happen, and you're probably going to see something like this, right? You'll probably see something like that. That's what I'm thinking. You'll probably see trend hitting like this. You'll probably see this run up like this, maybe go back to like 17 bucks, maybe come back down, then maybe shoot up. Or you might see it bounce and go all the way up to, 21, 22 bucks. Especially because the monthly is actually going to be closing bullish pretty soon, right? You're actually going to be closing the monthly pretty bullish. And you really only had this instance back on November 20th. And then also on I'm assuming that you don't have TA on this because it's GRTS hasn't really been trading for all that long, only 2 years, so you don't have that much history going back. But I can only assume that you had a bull cycle back here, back when it did its first actual run to the upside, right? So I can definitely see it running hard to the upside all over again. I'm not saying it's the thing I like about GRTS is it actually created a higher high. It broke previous highs, right, which I love. I love when tickers break previous highs. It means that it's getting a lot more volume, coming in, right? So you actually had your previous all-time high at 32.88, and then it actually ran to what, 35, over 35 bucks. So 35.20 was the actual high for this day. It was 35.20. Well, that seems kind of wrong because actually we're already here at 35.20. Actually, no, that seems accurate. Yeah, 35.20. So I can definitely see us running, a lot higher to the upside. I do think maybe you can potentially run all the way back up to let me see what this is at. Depending on when you actually close, you can probably see a match of anywhere between here, right? You can probably see maybe like a $32, $33 Gritstone bio, maybe in the next couple of months or so. But that all depends on when you actually close. That all depends on when you actually close the monthly. But as of right now, my TP is still probably going to be for like 17 bucks or whatever. I'm not saying it's going to happen soon, but we got to keep in mind that the monthly is going to close a bull cycle, and you're essentially creating perfect bottoms, and you can definitely see you have a lot of movement on the stock to run to the upside, right? So I can definitely see it running hard to the upside sometime soon. Let me see, I got to move this again because I want to make sure that it's accurate. There you go. So I do think, I do think you're kind of in tandem to creating a new trend right now on GRTS. I don't see GRTS dropping under $8.26, honestly. If I was actually playing biotechs, I'd probably be buying in at $8.26 and then riding it to the upside, because I do think after it hits 826, I do think it's going down a little bit. But generally, anything in this trading range, in this little trading box from what, 826 to like 964, I think it'd be generally a pretty good accumulation. I think it's really good time to start buying. I don't think it's going to drop to 623 unless you have massive news of, GRTS doing something extremely horrible. So really there's only two scenarios. I mean, you can either, drop down to here or possibly just kind of stay in this trading range and go sideways and then go up. But ultimately, I do think GRTS is going to go to the upside. I think it'll probably hit 17 bucks, maybe even more than that in the next couple of months. Like, I would not be surprised to see a $32 GRTS in like the next month or two, or not month or two, but just months, right? Maybe in the next couple of months or whatever. But it seems like it likes to really rally hard like this on the monthly bullish cycles, which is it's like I said, it's probably gonna close bullish on sometime this year. Definitely seems likely. But more than likely, it seems like this is what it's gonna do. I think it'll probably drop. Doesn't mean that it has to, but I think around this area is going to be a good accumulation for GRTS. I do think it's headed up. So I'll see you guys later. Have a great day. Bye.